Alright, 6th graders, lesson 7.3 is about surveys, about gathering information in order to determine a group's opinions. And there's different ways to go about doing that. That's what this lesson is about. It's the different ways to gather information. Whenever you're going to take a survey, you need to make a plan first. You need to plan out the type of information you want to get, what kind of questions you need to ask in order to make your survey a non-biased survey, meaning you're not leading the people to answer a certain way, and then how you're going to determine who's going to take the survey. If you wanted to gather the opinions of everybody in our school, or everybody in Golden Valley, you wouldn't be able to do that. So, in that case, you have to take what's called a sample survey. Meaning that you're not going to ask everybody. You're going to choose a method to gather this information. So the first type of survey that you can conduct is called a random sample survey. Okay? A random sample survey. Meaning that you're going to randomly select people to take the survey. It's kind of like putting all of the names of everyone in a hat and pulling out a name. Okay? Now, if you're pulling out a name, what are the chances that someone will be pulled out to take the survey? Does everyone have an equal chance then?
Yeah.
Yes, and that is the key for random sampling, is that the advantage of it is everyone that's possible in the survey, everyone has an equal chance at being selected. At being chosen. I can fit that word in. Okay? At being chosen. If everyone has an equal chance at being chosen, that's a completely random sample. Okay? Now, what if, however, your school has mostly, let's say if we're doing a school and we're conducting a survey about sports teams, or let's say football, okay? And would it be fair to say that more boys like football than girls?
No.
That's probably fair to say. Not girls like football too. Some girls play football,
More boys play
and
football
the girls played fantasy football, so they learned about football. But let's say in our random sample about football, all of the people that we pulled out of the hat were girls. Now, if we're asking a question about football, that may not give us the best survey as to the opinions about, let's say, who's going to win the NCAA national championship game, or who's going to win the Super Bowl this year. Okay? Kentucky's not in the football championship.
Oh, I think we're basketball.
Oh, no, football. Okay, so in that case, a random sample, that random sample may not be a very good sample in predicting what the results are. Okay? So there's another way to use this, and that's called a convenience sample. A convenience sample would be that we need to get some quick results. So we're just going to ask whoever is happens to be there at a certain time. Okay? So maybe we'll go to the lunch line, and whoever is in the lunch line right now, we're going to ask them, who do you think is going to win the national championship in college football? Okay. Now, what if it's only 5th graders? That's a convenience sample, but does that necessarily represent the whole school?
No.
No. So we can get quick results by going to whoever's in the lunch line and asking them all. We can get probably an equal number of boys and girls. But in a convenience sample, that may not be accurate. Okay? It may be accurate, but it may not be. So there's another type of sample you can use, and that's called a systematic sampling. And that is where we would want to select people using a pattern, getting results that are more even. Okay? So in that case, maybe you'd want to choose boys, like 4 boys and 4 girls from each class, and ask them their opinions. That would be a systematic way of selecting even number of boys, even number of girls, 8 from each class. You see how that's systematic? Now, that might take a lot longer, so it doesn't have the advantages of a convenience sampling. And it may not be an accurate sample because it may not represent the correct numbers of boys and girls that are in the school. Okay? But it's another method of getting the information that we want, called a systematic sample. Okay? Any questions about any of these samples? Any of these survey types? So, in the worksheet, you're going to be answering some questions. You're going to be looking at some situations and deciding, is this a random sampling type? Is this a convenience sampling type? Or is this a systematic sampling? Okay?